of February 2025. Awake to the realities of life. Yes, awake to the realities of life. Enough of the fantasy. Face reality. Face life itself. And be true to life. That's my message to you this morning. You're watching Family and Values on Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. Yeah, we keep aiming for the stars. Family and Values is a show that talks about everything that has to do with family, parenting, relationship, the society at large. Because the beginning of a good society starts with a healthy family. The show runs Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And our Thursdays are strictly dedicated to health. Like we used to say, before you talk of a family, you must have a healthy family. And it comprises of mentally, emotionally, complete well-being of families. And Fridays, we give it all to our youths to come in and tell us what they know about family. Parenting is all we know, and that's what we do, because we are trying to rebuild a society that is gradually all that has gone down. We are trying to rebuild. The society at this point is looking for the rescue, the Messiah, and that's what Family and Values is all about. We are trying to talk to you about those values you have forgotten or you think are not important or necessary. If this is the first time you're seeing us on your, we are streaming live on Facebook, on our YouTube page, and yes, you can download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. A very big shout out to our Star Times family who have always been there. We love you, we appreciate you. You can always send in text messages, yes, to questions on previous topics, and guests would always answer. It promised to be always very wonderful and educative one. I am Princess Joy Ayo Abu. I love the way that Abu usually sound, you know. Yeah, that's why the fact that it's name. But like I said, when you see me looking all radiant, beautiful, smiling, just know that somebody is giving me that underground power to say, go girl, go girl. And you know who I'm talking about. But well, if this is the first time you're joining us, you might not know the person. So let me officially introduce to you my very own partner, my own mama, Gen Z. Good morning to you.
The way you're saying, Mama, Gen Z.
Yeah, that introduction won't be you pay.
You want all the Gen Z to start running after me, eh?
They should come and meet you. They should say, Mama, we love the way you are.
Beautiful morning to you, Joy. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
it's
good.
So good to have an Olori and a princess.
Yes, always good. It's a good combination.
In a while, ladies, you know, who will join us on this set. It's a privilege, it's an honor to be here. And because we all have limited time to live in life, today is another opportunity for you to do something good for yourself. Pick it up, establish it, settle yourself with it, perfect it, and you will have a success story at the end of the day. So, because I'm not saying we are dying now, but, you know, just do something meaningful. A day has come. Yesterday is out of the days we are to spend on earth. And so today is another privilege for you to show yourself forth to do something magnificent. And you know, sometimes you see certain things and you wonder what will become of our society. We'll be talking more about that. But a beautiful morning to you viewers at home. It's another privilege for you and I to rock our mind. Let's talk. Let's know what is happening. A lot is happening. I saw a video of a young man who wanted to use his nephew for ritual. And he said in confidence when they were interrogating him, I'll be taking care of the boy. I'll be sending him to school. When he's sick, I'll use the money to... Oh my God. What has become of our young ones? That is why we have family and values. It's all about the young ones. Starting from now, building your life till when you get to that stage, you get married and you start having your own family. So today, being Wednesday, let's see what we have to discuss, because Joy is taking the anchor this morning and God is going to lead her on. My name is Rumeno Olori Adejoke Adobi David, and my friends call me Olori. Let's go about today.
Yeah, let's go back today. Do we have any birthday shout outs?
Okay, to everyone celebrating, you need to celebrate many more fulfilling new age. It's a new day, it's a new year for you, and we pray it will be the beginning of many good things God is doing in your life. If you are celebrating your anniversary, many more beautiful top up. Now I always say many honey in your moon. That is our wish for you.
Okay, so this is a very birthday shout out to my kid sister, our last one. Yeah, she was the very first person that called me mommy. Yeah, I remember then in 2001, they used to say, did you give birth to her? Because she would always call me mommy. Yes, mommy. At the point we had to say, no, there is big mommy and there is small mommy. I was always the small mommy. So to Mercy Ayo Abu, our barrister, she's been called to the bar. I'm wishing you a wonderful, fulfilling years
I think
ahead.
I'm missing one.
Happy birthday to her, like more grateful years ahead. You come that wonderful woman you always wanted.
How old is she now?
I think 2001 to now, maybe something.
Mommy's
but she didn't meet they're 24 there, right? Yeah, so happy birthday to you.
You need to celebrate the same people that will be here in town health, and you also have lift up another top up for you. More wins. A big shout out to my darling daughter. So happy more celebration and wins to Oluwasemilore Abibi David. Yeah, shout out to you.
That's true, Shemilore. Happy matric. You know, if it's in those days, we'll pour you water now. That's when now we'll now pour you water. We tell you then it is yes now. Yes, that's why I'm a big auntie. I'm supposed to just do that. But anyway, let's leave it to when we see you. So everyone celebrating, we love you. Keep celebrating. You. Many more to come. All right, let's go on our mini feature, and when we return, our guest is already in the studio to have today's conversation with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Transparency in marriage. To what extent? Transparency in marriage is essential for building trust, fostering intimacy, and creating a strong foundation for a healthy relationship. However, the questions remain: to what extent should transparency be practiced in marriage? In this write-up, we will explore the importance of transparency, discuss the benefits and limitations of transparency, and provide guidance on navigating the fine line between honesty and privacy. The importance of transparency in marriage. 1. Build trust. Transparency fosters trust, which is a cornerstone of a healthy marriage. 2. Promote intimacy. Sharing thoughts, feelings, and experiences with your partner creates a deeper sense of intimacy and connection. 3. Encourage accountability. Transparency promotes accountability, helping partners to take responsibility for their actions and decisions. 4. Resolves conflict. Open communication and transparency can help resolve conflict and prevent misunderstandings. Benefits of transparency in marriage. 1. Deeper understanding. Transparency provides a deeper understanding of each other's thoughts, feelings, and experiences. 2. Increased emotional intelligence. Practicing transparency helps partners develop emotional intelligence, empathy, and compassion. 3. Improved communication. Transparency promotes open and honest communication, reducing misunderstandings and conflicts. 4. Stronger bond. Transparency strengthens the bond between partners, creating a sense of unity and togetherness. Limitations of transparency in marriage. 1. Privacy and boundaries. While transparency is essential, it's equally important to respect each other's privacy and boundaries. 2. Information overload. Sharing too much information can be overwhelming and may lead to feelings of anxiety or stress. 3. Vulnerability. Transparency requires vulnerability, which can be challenging for some individuals, especially if they've experienced trauma or abuse. 4. Cultural and personal differences. Transparency may vary across cultures and individuals, and it's essential to respect these differences. Navigating the fine line between honesty and privacy. 1. Communicate openly. Discuss your expectations and boundaries with your partner to ensure you are both on the same page. 2. Respect each other's privacy. Establish clear boundaries and respect each other's need for privacy and alone time. 3. Share information wisely. Share information that's relevant and necessary, avoiding unnecessary details that may cause harm or discomfort. 4. Practice empathy and understanding. Cultivate empathy and understanding by actively listening to each other's perspective and feelings. Transparency in marriage is essential for building trust, fostering intimacy, and creating a strong foundation for a healthy relationship. While transparency is important, it's equally essential to respect each other's privacy and boundaries. By navigating the fine line between honesty and privacy, couples can create a balanced and healthy relationship that promotes growth, understanding, and love.
Hey, welcome back. Yes, that was our mini feature, and today's conversation is transparency in marriage. To what extent? To what extent can you be transparent in marriage? On Monday, we looked at conflict in relationship, who should apologize first, and Tuesday, we talked about handling a lying partner. And today, we are talking about transparency in marriage. To what extent? To what extent can you show your bank details? To what extent can you release your phone? To what extent? Yes, we are talking about transparency. It cuts across, it reach everywhere. Let's have that conversation. We said it, those controversial topics we don't want to talk about. On family and values, we discuss them because that's what family is all about. And we have our very own guest here, calm, cool, and collected, very sincere. So he will tell us how transparent he has been. And he'll be dishing it out. You get so quiet.
You know the way all these people they like to they see.
When you don't study for Oyibo, now say you go be Oyibo man life. Now in the
where's my look?
This is the setup.
what's that?
That's who you are.
All right, we have Daniel Gomez. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
He's a marriage counselor. Studied all the way from US. His own marriage counseling was he studied. He went across to US to go and study. He knows so much about it. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're going to give it to us.
No, you really, you tell us how transparent he has been.
But do you think it's advisable for so young and courting a young guy? Because Family Value is all about the young ones coming up, growing up, understanding what they are about to step into and what their life is actually supposed to transcend into marriage. But do you think it's advisable? We are courting, we're already engaged. Okay, and I should start moving my bank account to my partner. Is it something we agree
before you dive into that, because that one now we are talking about courtship. But in marriage, we are already in marriage, right? Now, transparency. To what extent can one be transparent? And how important is the financial? That's why I said before you answer that question, let's put it. How important is the financial aspect of transparency now? Between you and madam, does she know your account details? Does she know not your account details? Of course, everybody knows the account. You all know my account details, you know what I'm talking about. But then the money inside the bank. Does she know? Money is part of transparency now. So, okay. But to what extent can one be transparent?
Okay. All right. Good morning, viewers. Perhaps let me start it this way.
Okay.
No, we talk about transparency, and we also talk about honesty. Sometimes people confuse the two.
Okay.
Yeah. So, transparency is about you being vulnerable enough to share your fears, your anxieties, your values, your concerns, your everything with your partner. So we are talking of marriage here, which happens to be the most intimate relationship that God has created so far on earth. That is transparency. Honesty is not lying to your partner. So it means you'll be honest without being transparent.
Honest without being transparent.
Okay.
So that I didn't give you my bank details, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm not being transparent.
Okay, that I'm not lying. It's just that I'm not being transparent to you. Okay, I'm not lying, but I'm not being transparent to you. All right.
So talking about bank details, when I started work, well, I was working when I got married. My wife was schooling, so the first time she was on pay, and she came to visit me, so I picked my pay slip and showed her. I said, "This is my income." So she looked at it. She said, "What is this? Allowances, salary, deductions, net." She said, "I beg, remove thing. I don't understand it." So I wanted to establish the culture of transparency at the earliest stage of our marriage. I tried to get her through a couple of times, but she's like the type that kind of thing is really
not her business.
Not a concern for her. As long as I'm taking care of her needs and that of the family. So concerning finance, she knows when I have money, and I don't hide how much I have from her. She knows it. Does she have my ATM? She doesn't even need it. So that's talking about me. But that might not be the case for some other people. You may have somebody who will want to have it. Virtually everybody in my house has the PIN to my phone, the password to my phone. Not only my wife, my daughters, my son, they all have it. They can open my phone or data or use it to do something.
Without you having a feeling inside that, hey, there is one skeleton
of insecurity.
That's it.
But that's me. That's what I choose to be. But is it something that most people are given to? Is it something that most people can easily do? I think the answer would be no. Because there are driving factors that make somebody to be transparent. And if those factors and conditions are not there, it becomes now difficult because fear sets in. Distrust sets in. Okay? And especially if you have tried to be transparent in the past and that information you gave out is used against you. Some people will go back into their shell and they'll never come out again.
I love the fact that you were able to answer my question before she bumped. Because it's very important. Why? Before we get into marriage, we need to also prepare the foundation.
Definitely.
So we just don't get married. We just don't find ourselves married. We started from somewhere. And I love the fact that you were able to open up, try to make your wife feel comfortable with you, trying to show her before that time. And she was not interested. So it shows well why she would not be interested in, as long as you're taking care of me, I'm comfortable. I know you are open enough to have, you know, see days before we even went into it. Now, this is where I'm coming. Can too much of transparency affect a marriage or a relationship? When you are too open, you are like, you know, transparency, I believe, is an open book. And I love the definition, the way you explained it. Let me put it that way, that transparency is when you try to bring it out to the open while being truthful, is when you are, you know, you, and you are not, lying to the right or to the left. You are just being truthful. Now, can there be anything like too much of transparency? Whether you're courting, getting into marriage, or you are just newly married, can anything be too much of, you are too open, you let us see everything, he knows everything about you? Can there be anything too open?
Okay, so let me use this Bible verse, permit me. Proverbs 28:13 says, people who counsel their sins will not prosper, but if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. So when we say, can it be too much? No, when you are being transparent, you are building your own integrity. It's not the other person's integrity. So it means when you are not being transparent, you are not putting in enough ingredients into the building of your integrity. So can it be too much? I will say no. Because it's like hiding a part of you from somebody that the Bible says the two shall become one.
That is yourself, hiding a part of you from yourself.
Yes. So and the Bible also says that he who maltreats his wife is maltreating his body. Yeah. He who hurts his wife is hurting his own body. Which means anything you do to try to conceal an information, okay, or a fear or a concern from your partner is coming back to you. Okay, you are already creating an environment of dishonesty. Because from not being transparent, a situation will arrive that you need to be honest, and you will now cross the two and say, but, and then you hold back something that you are supposed to be honest about. With. And before you know it, you start building a conscience that is not transparent, a conscience that can accommodate something, hide something, and then before you know it, you start keeping things from, and the moment that culture starts breathing in, there will be some invisible separation. Two of you may be together, you may be talking again, but in your heart, your heart is already keeping something from that person, which means your heart is beginning to separate from that said person. You have just initiated a crack that, if it is not well managed, will eventually lead to separation.
Some time ago, there was upright on social media. A man came out to say he was staying in a house and he was the rent of that house, not knowing that the house belonged to his wife. Okay. And everybody on social media were giving their 1 and 2 this and now. What would have been the reason why that one would decide not to tell the husband that? And the husband said she insisted that they rent that particular house. Okay. After renting it, he kept paying for years. I think this was like 3-4 years. Then he discovered that that house belongs to his wife and both of them are staying there. And he said, no, I'm taking a walk out of this marriage. What would have warranted such level of concealness for her not to be transparent enough to tell the husband that I built this house, let's live there?
Okay, so for me, I will consider that as being dishonest.
Okay.
As not telling the truth. Rather than not being transparent. She was being dishonest. She was hiding a truth. You know, transparency is not about truth. It's about sharing my fear,
Yes.
sharing my concerns. So, for example, if I'm beginning to have a feeling towards a woman outside, can I tell my wife? Say, babe, come on. There's this woman outside. You need to help me. How can I avoid
Avoid or overcome?
Each time I come across her, something is just not right for me. How can we walk me out of that situation?
That's transparency now. Wow.
So I'm not hiding my fears. I'm not hiding my progress. I'm making them very plain. But in the instance where a lady has a house, she kept it for and they rented that house, that's being dishonest. It's not about transparency.
All right, that's been dishonest. Let's go now. Word of mouth. And when we return, we're still talking about transparency in marriage. To what extent? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Yes, if you missed the first part, we have been discussing transparency in marriage to what extent, and our guest has really spoken a lot of truths that we all need to know. You can always go back to our Facebook page to watch from the beginning, but welcome back if you're just joining us now. To what extent can one be transparent? Now let's talk about privacy and transparency. Is there a difference between the two, privacy and transparency? And how can couples balance a private life and being transparent? For instance, there are certain things that I believe in my family should be private. That's my family, where I grew up from, and I don't want to share that with you. Maybe along the line you get to know, and I tell you it's my private life. So is there a place of privacy and transparency in marriage?
Okay, so by privacy you mean keeping something away,
like it's family,
from your significant partner.
Certain situations, it could be anything.
What I subscribe for is space.
I love that subscribe.
In a relationship, each of you need a space where sometimes you just need to be by yourself.
That's alone time.
Yes. So, and you should be able to communicate to each other that when I am like this, I need some space to get myself back. so that the person will not feel you are overreacting due to a situation or something that has happened. So you would have communicated it ahead. And once the person sees you in that state, he gives you the space. Thereafter, you come back together and you continue life. But privacy, hiding something from your significant partner, you know, in this life, nothing is hidden forever. Okay? Nothing is hidden forever. So, there's a wedding. Let me just give this life example. A wedding was to take place. The lady had a child a couple of years back, and she, for some reason, good or bad, didn't let the guy know. The guy got to know about it on the eve of the wedding, that this lady had a child some years back. And he was like, if she had told him, if she had admitted it, he would have still continued, go ahead to marry her. But because she hid it, it means she can be hiding more pungent things that are even harmful to him. And for that reason, on the eve of the wedding was called off.
Who told the guy about the child? The person has a shovel to dig her past. Who did? How did he get to know?
I didn't dig into who did what, but this is something that happened really like.
I mean, that person wanted to destroy the marriage already.
But the point is,
if she
the guy said she had told me. The love I had for her, even at the point he was calling up the marriage, he was crying and was saying why.
I should have married her.
But then marrying her means there is a crack
already
that he was not sure he would be able to
handle.
So at that point he felt the best thing is to what? Just call it off, even though it pains him.
What happened to the rights and everything?
So privacy, I will be careful using that word privacy. If there is something I need to know, I did that. If there is something I need to know, please let me know it now, so that I know this is what I'm going in. But if I find it later, you know, the Bible says, don't give the devil a foothold. A foothold is, if you look at mountain climbers, where they put their toe to move up to the next level, that's a foothold. As little as it says, don't give the devil a foothold. Some things we call privacy are footholds that if the partner discovers, the devil gets into that marriage.
And use it as an
so what happened to all the rice and all the food? Like, they answered that question in that wedding that was called.
Only rice and food. They have even slaughtered malu.
Hey, everything shared free like that.
Yes, ma'am. At least it will not go to waste.
You see why it's good to be transparent.
Now, what's the impact of transparency in the when we talk about security and when we talk about trust? What role does it play in trust and in securing a relationship? I'm not even talking about marriage alone now.
Yeah.
In relationship, whether you are still courting or you are just into that relationship or you are going into it.
Okay, so one of the things transparency does to any relationship is it gives it health. You know, it's like when you are eating healthy diet. You know, they say if you make your food your medicine, then medicine will not be your food.
Yeah.
So one of the things that makes relationships to be healthy is transparency. Another thing that transparency does is it makes communication easier. You will not be hesitating.
I love what you started with. You know, it makes the relationship
healthier. So why are people not transparent in relationships?
Unnecessary
BP up and down.
You know, let me check her phone. What is he coming back up? Let me check his shirts. Whether there is condom from the journey is just.
Yes. Oh my. We need to. Hey.
I got, you see, in short,
it makes it
continue.
healthy.
Yeah.
Please.
So it also helps to build trust. Now, you know, one of the things that easily breaks relationships, especially marriage, is lack of intimacy. When there is transparency, intimacy becomes stronger.
The bond.
The bond becomes stronger.
Oh my
You don't want to hide
And
anything.
the ability of external forces to break relationship
Will be very difficult.
becomes more difficult. Emotional. You know, when the two of you are transparent, emotionally you become
You
more
connect
intimate. You
to
connect
each other.
because each time the other person is talking, you already understand you are connecting.
You know where.
There is a heart connection. Conflict resolution. When there is transparency, resolution of conflict becomes easy. Because you know that this person is talking from the heart, is being open
And
to
you know
you.
the soft spot.
Now, people who have understanding knows that when I am being transparent, for example, I have a choice not to be. That I choose to be vulnerable, now becomes a thing of honor. So and when it is not abused, it gives me the courage to even open more. It's like,
And when your partner is not judgmental in you opening up.
yes. And then things like personal growth. You know, when you are being transparent, you open up to your partner. It makes it easier for the two of you to flow, to support each
Without
other.
one thinking you have money more than me.
So
that is
and,
not
and,
right.
and even when you are talking about your fears, once you share your fears, you know, a problem is shared, a problem solved. But when you start hiding things, just as she said, sometimes you start having heartbeat. What if she find out? What if she find out? What if she find out I have a child outside? What if she find out?
But
really
in all this you're saying, can it be over controlling from one end? You know, we are talking of one person not overusing the other person. You know, one person might be the transparent one and the other one is the one that conceal things and will say, no, the way I was made. You know, people have a way of putting so many things. Say, the way we were brought up in keeping some things. It's not everything you say. And you came from a place where everything's bare, you bring it to the table, this is what I have. Another person is hiding his own. And we say, no, me, I was brought up to buy this. So you're not the one being the transparent one. Can it become overbearing to be transparent, like over controlling from one partner?
Okay, so this is how I look at it. Yeah, transparency is like forgiveness.
Okay.
When you forgive somebody, you are setting yourself free, not the person.
Yeah. Sure. Setting yourself free.
Yeah, it's yourself.
Because I feel like most women are the ones more transparent than men, no?
That's the way you
Yes, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
So when you are being transparent, you are setting yourself free. You are not making provisions for you to lose sleep over anything.
Yes.
If you are transparent, you hit your bed, you sleep.
Now you they carry the body.
So if the other person choose to hide, I can tell you for free that the freedom you are enjoying, a point will come where that person will just be compelled to say, are you? What is it?
I always say, why you slept?
No, you don't even have
You slept. You know, nothing bothers you. You just slept.
Oh my God.
That is it. So
Okay. If you have answered our own
Yes.
question, can transparency be risky? Because
yes.
you know the question answered all the time before we went for that word on marble break. I wanted to say the generation that we have, I don't know whether Gen Z or not, the generation of the young ones that we have now. I have seen very young couple, nearly in their 20s, and he actually discussed this with the wife. There's one babe, they brought her to my office. Hey, babe, if you see this babe, intimidating everybody in the office. Those who are not married, they are just everywhere. And this is a young guy. always love to, like, just like you said, open to one another. And the wife is like, oh, better be careful with her. These are the steps you need to take so that you will not fall into a trap. If everybody is going in this direction, just make sure you are going in this direction.
Sure.
So, and again, be careful so that they will not say you are hitting on her. That's why you are trying to, like, stay as if you don't feel anything. Your friends can even, you know, she advised her husband.
Yes, exactly.
Now I'm asking, can transparency be risky? Because some of this same new generation will, like, come here, better open.
Resign.
Hello, I'll come to that office and show them.
Resign.
That, you know, they will tell them, hey, Wobi, don't try that with me. If everybody's looking at that, so maybe you need to change that branch. You don't need to go to that branch. You know, something like that. So how can it be risky?
Okay. Actually, I was
And how
just.
can you handle such?
Yes, I was turning that particular point in my mind when I was.
Thank you.
People who are risk takers have a higher tendency to be transparent because it's really a risk. It's a 50-50, especially when you are initiating it, because you are not sure how the other person is going to react. You are doing it the first time. What if? There's a lot of what if, and a lot of them are negatively oriented. But then you should look for one positively oriented one. What if this thing now triggers a stronger bond? What if this triggers my partner to share something she has been struggling with?
That's it.
So we should now look at the point. But people who take risks are more open to being transparent. Now, people who are insecure will need to be encouraged by their partner by consistently being transparent. And when they try to open up, encourage them. Sometimes you find, as she said, one partner is being transparent, the other one is being conservative. What that person is looking for is, if I bring out my head, will it be judged? Will it be attacked? So encourage the person. Encourage the person. So until the person begins to open up. And when the person opens up, appreciate it generously, so that the person feels that, wow, so I will not be judged after all. And then gradually, it's like a baby who is learning to walk. That's how some people are. Some people naturally, they hide nothing in their life. In fact, even people who are not intimate with them know
everything about them.
That is their build. But those who don't have that building block needs to be encouraged, so that eventually everybody is able to sleep well.
Everybody is able to sleep well. As we round up, let's talk about the spiritual aspect of being transparent. I was trying to, sometimes they say keep your mouth shut until that thing is already manifested. They said you don't. There's an adage in my place. They say you don't announce pregnancy. Pregnancy announces itself. It gossips itself. You cannot come and say, 1 month pregnant. No. 1 month, 2 months, before you get to 9 months, everybody will know that you're pregnant. So what is the spiritual? Are there spiritual implications, both positive and negative, to being transparent in your marriage as we round up?
Okay, so let me use 2 Bible verses here. So the first one is Ephesians 25. It says, therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for all members of one body. Then James 5:16 says, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. Meaning, lack of transparency can cause illness. It says, honest of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. Meaning, lack of transparency can even hinder your prayers. That great power that comes in through prayer can also be hindered. So spiritually, when you are not being transparent, it means you have a lot of things to do with in your mind. your mind is unsettled. And with an unsettled mind, it becomes difficult for you to even settle down and pray. What will you be praying about?
What will you be praying about?
When your mind is clogged with worries.
As we go, sir. You know, these days it's very difficult to know what is going through the mind of our political leaders. And our young ones will always look at those ones. They just take Biro, they, you know, offload the money. We they here, we full of
download apps.
They are downloading it. We are here, we are doing cracking all that, you know, racking all our brain to try to hustle, make money. Transparency, generally. What's your view about it? Because some tell you, I tell you where I'm going, you can go there and corner me. And we're talking about transparency, so we're not just talking about just marriage or relationship. Generally, what should we do when we look at transparency as we totally, you know, call this off for today as a final advice to our viewers?
Yes, so ideally our leaders are supposed to be transparent. But the mistake our youths are making, and not only them but even the elders are making, is they thought they can make progress by focusing on other people's weaknesses. Nobody ever makes progress by focusing on another person's weakness.
That's it.
So they are doing something wrong, and all somebody talks about and thinks about is that thing that they are not doing right. They don't sit to consider, how can I put myself together? If you go to some places, that is the gist. From morning till bedtime, what the politicians are not doing well. And if you look at the person's life, it represents what he is spending his time doing. So we desire them to be transparent. We desire them to be accountable to the resources that are being given to them. But also, we should focus on, if they are not transparent, how can I grow in this system? That's how we can make progress. And that should be the line of thinking of the youth.
The line of thinking of the youth. Stop standing and looking at other people's weaknesses. Stand on your own. Like I told you, yesterday is gone, today is here. What do you intend to do for yourself? How well do you want to be good? It's another opportunity for you to correct your errors and move forward, move on. Let those who are doing the baggage, let them carry the baggage. You go answer and do something meaningful with your life. On that note, I wish you the very best.